Okay, guys, what is up? It is Helmy, and I am here for our week number 2 battle of the UDL. We are in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon this week, and we are going up against Ice. And I just like I'm loving my team so far. Uh, yeah. So going over his team, he had the first pick of the draft. He had Magirna, Latios, Megalopunny, Manaphy, Crocodile, Crobat, Entei, Miltank, and Quilladin. And then I have Ash Greninja. Oh, and then his Z move user is Manaphy, Miltank, and Quilladin. And then I have Ash Greninja, Zapdos, Mega Venusaur, Latias, Buzzwole, Chansey, Marowak, Alola Marowak, Comfy, Aggron, and Gumshoe, with my Z uses being Ash Greninja, Aggron, and Gumshoe. And so, just personally, looking at this matchup, I know that Alola Marowak is just going to do work. I have, so I'll go over my sets. So, first off, we have my Ash Greninja set, which is a Water MZ with U-turn and some HP investment, because I can outspeed everything on this team besides Lopunny if I put in 160, because I'll outspeed the Latias, and their Crobat will be outsped by, or I won't outspeed the Crobat unless I'm max speed. I don't think outspeeding the Crobat is really that useful, because I think Water Shuriken can do a better job. So I have U-turn, Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, and Hydro Pulse with the Water MZ. Next I have Alola Marowak with Thick Club, Lightning Rod with Fire Punch, Shadow Bone, Low Kick, and Knockoff. Low Kick is for Crocodile and Miltank, as it can do a good amount to both of those. It is max HP, max attack, with some investment in special defense. Next I have Zapdos. I think that the Zapdos is mainly just to beat out the Manaphy and to Volt Switch and everything. Toxic. I was really thinking about running U-turn instead of Toxic, because I just wanted this thing for momentum, because I think that this team just needed the momentum to just overpower my opponent's team, because I wanted to switch out on the Crocodile without having to worry about Volt Switching. So it is Leftovers of Static, Volt Switch, Toxic, Roost, and Defog. It is max HP and max speed. It can take exactly one Choice Specs Ice Beam at full HP. It does exactly 98% max. So I was ready for it. I was good. I had some investment, and so I really like this build, because it can just Zapdos is just so tanky. Next we have Chansey with Eviolite. It's Eviolite, Natural Cure, Stealth Rocks, Heal Bells, Saxon Toss and Wish, max HP and max defense. I wanted to use this thing as a counter to kind of Entei and Latios. I wanted to, if he was running Flare Blitz, what was it? If it was Flare Blitz Entei Choice Banded, he would be doing around 45% recoil to himself. And I think that Entei is a huge threat for my team, because if it is Shiny Adamant with extreme speed, I think it's going to take out a lot of my team if it's Choice Banded like that. Next we have Venusaur, and I am max defense, max HP, Elite Seed, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, and Synthesis. I think this thing really pairs well against like his Lopunny and Magirna, and just Crocodile too, and Manaphy. Like, it does really good against his team. It's really bulky. And then lastly, we have Buzzwole, which I was just confident that this is my my win con right here. I think that Buzzwole against his team, if I can get enough chip on things like, looking at his team, if I knew he wasn't going to be bringing, Quilladin. I knew he wasn't going to be bringing Quilladin, because I think that even with Bulletproof, it's not that good against my team. because stuff like Zapdos can just whittle it down. And I didn't think Crobat was coming either, just because of Zapdos being able to completely wall it, mainly. So I was ready for anything else, which is mainly the six that he brought. Besides Miltank, I was really ready for Miltank, and I think Buswell is able to just pound through the team if I could whittle down. Looking at what he brought, like Magirna and Manaphy, I can just destroy his entire team with Buswell. So, getting into the battle, I lead off with Greninja and we're gonna switch sides. So I lead off with the Greninja, thinking that I can do whatever I want here. I can see if he's choice specs or choice scarf. I don't think he is because he's adamant, and I think this thing would be really good if it's defensive in this matchup. So I could have went for a Hydro Pump right here and get this thing like completely down to anything. We find out later that this thing is Focus Sash. So I think that a Hydro Pump here wasn't going to be that useful. I know he wasn't going to be Choice Scarf. He was going to be defensive, and I know I could take an Earthquake. So I also knock off won't be doing that much because I had my Water MZ. So I'm going to U-turn out, and from the damage I know he's defensive. I'm going to go into Venusaur. He can't knock off. Earthquake's not going to do that much, and I can sense this up. I like this thing being at full HP this entire game. This Sega Fire here does burn, which is very, very bad for my situation. It's going to leave me crippled, and I can't take 2 coming in with that Elite Seed. So I can't just be switching in on Entei anymore. Like, it's going to be hard to deal with this now, especially since it's dealing 45, 40, 50% every single time. So I had to try to stall to get his Sega Fires out. So I went for Synthesis here just to make sure to burn another turn of it. He switches out into Latios. Was a really good play. He could set up. I was worried here about anything. If this Latios was Specs, I had Chansey to deal with it. But like if it was set up, I knew that I could go into Zapdos and Volt Switch out Toxic Cake and deal with it and lead him into me going into Buzzwole and taking care of it. So I go into Chansey right here. He makes a good play, good double into Manaphy. I do not like going up Manaphy against Chansey. I think that it is a bad matchup. I know this thing can carry knockoff and stuff like that. I do not want my Chansey to be knocked off. That's why I have Zapdos. I have Zapdos to deal with the Manaphy. I think it just deals with it better. So I can switch out into Zapdos. He does miss a Whirlpool there, but I do not think a Whirlpool would do that much. I go for a Toxic here because I know this Crocodile is going to be coming in. And I can switch out into my Venusaur again and just get he gets Stealth Arcs off, which I think that I think Head Control in this game is really what's going to determine it because I'm going to be playing for Chip the entire game. Here I think Leech Seed is just the best play just because I can get residual health back beating that burn. I do have Heal Bell on my Chansey that I can get rid of this burn, but I had to find like a good time to bring it in. I think Chansey can be very weak in some matchups, but it's very strong here versus like Magirna and Latios. So he's going to switch out in Latios here. I can go for Leech Seed and get some health back, and I can switch out into Chansey and maybe get a Heal Bell off. He goes for Psyshock. It does nothing. This is max defense. And he can go out into Manaphy again. And I can get off a Wish and go down to Zapdos and get rid of those rocks because I have Defog and stuff. He does go for the U-turn there. I really like that U-turn play. And here, I know I can live in a nice beam unless he's modest. I don't think that he was modest because I think he wanted to outspeed things like I don't know if he wasn't modest, but from my calcs, it looked like he was timid. To maybe outspeed like a slow Venusaur. So that was my conclusion. I don't know if he was or not, but it was due. If it was modest. It did have a chance to kill, but I think it was timid, so I don't think it had a chance to kill. So I just stayed in right there, fearing nothing, and I can go for the volt switch here. And but I just but I knew that I didn't want to take a fake out and stuff like that. I can go out for leech seed, and from here I can switch out into Chansey again and get more health back. He goes for Roost, sharing that he's not choiced in any way. It's not choice card, not choice specs. Entei here is very threatening. I can get my rocks up, which I think is going to what's be whittling down Entei. A Sacred Fire here, it can two-shot me and take me out. I go into Little Marowak, and I know this thing is already choice banded already. That damage right there shows that he is choice banded, but I also knew that like I could take it. I could take a crit into another one. So here I'm going to go for the knockoff. I think that something deserves not to be the item. I know he's not going to go into low punny, but I didn't know if he was going to own a Manaphy, because I think Manaphy was a good play there. So I do go for knock. I'm pretty sure that I think a low kick would have killed, but I wasn't sure at like what his build was. I like building max HP, max speed, just because I think it's better for situations like versus Zapdos, which my Zapdos could not be max speed. But I don't know what kind of set build he was. So I knock it off. I go into my Venusaur or Zapdos, whichever one I feel like is better. Here I can just defog away the rocks because I want to keep hazard control, and he's going to go and take toxic damage. I'm going to switch out into Greninja to try to get, because I didn't know how Battle Bond worked. I thought it would be like, not like Moxie or Beast Boost where you have to get the kill, but like you just had to be there when they die. So I thought the toxic damage killing him would mean I would get the boost, but apparently that is not how it works. So I go in for U-turn here and a low Marowak, and I can stop his turning around. So I can go for another. Well, so I knew that he was already specs from the damage before. Or no, he never attacked before. So I didn't know he was specs, but I knew that he was gonna be going out in Crocodile 10, just so I could he could get the intimidate off, and he would die from toxic. So it was a very good no risk play. I wasn't gonna be setting up at all. Yeah, so I wasn't gonna be setting up all with my Alolan Marowak just have like flame charge. So him getting the intimidate off would be a good play. And I wanted to take the kill with Greninja, but as you see here, he dies to Toxic. I don't get my Bottle Bond. I can just U-turn again here and go out into Chansey because I think that he's not going to go for full switch. From that damage, I know that he's choice specs, and I can set up my Stealth Rocks right here. He can go for Sacred Fire and take me out. And I can go back into Greninja and go for Dark Pulse. I'll go for U-turn. I knew he was switching out there. I can go to Zapdos, and I can just start volt switching on his team. I go out into Marowak here. I know I can take almost anything he has except for Shadow Ball. But I do not think that he brought Shadow Ball because I don't think he prepped enough for Marowak, because most people don't know how much this thing can be a special defensive threat. He's going to go out into Manaphy, and I'm going to go just for a Fire Punch here. And it does 26%. I know that, like, it's not a lot of damage. I go into Buzzwole here, thinking that he's going to be going for, like, Ice Beam or Surf. He goes for a Z Heal Bell. I think that's a very nice tech. I can full switch here. I know that he has no HP investment right now because of that damage. And he goes for Ice Beam here, doing 31%, and I know right there that he specs. So I can go out into Greninja here and Dark Pulse. I know they're switching out because I just felt I was feeling into this game. I really was. I was on top of my stuff. I go out and Zapdos. Every single time this Manaphy came in, my Zapdos came in right after. I didn't want anything else, especially that I knew it was a Whirlpool. Don't want it getting trapped or anything like that. Goes on in a low plenty here. I have my Venusaur and my Zapdos. I liked his Zapdos play because he was baiting me into Venusaur. So I go for Toxic, and I can Volt Switch out and go into Buzzwole. And if this thing doesn't switch out, I can go for Leech Seed, and basically I can take out his entire team except for Entei. I don't think it killed this thing either, and I can sack my Venusaur, and I can go to Breed Share and just click Water MZ and confirm a kill and get my Battle Bond. And so my end game was just playing so that Water MZ was an absolute kill for something. Wasn't sure what or what exactly it would be, but like securing that kill was just getting rid of Latios and Manaphy, which took a while, but like after Crocodile, I started getting stuff down with Zapdos' Volt Switch and Toxic. So it was very good. I think that I played this really well. And here I can just switch out into Zapdos and take whatever damage that he wants. If it's a fake out, into like an Ice Punch or Drain Punch, whatever it is. He does get paralyzed here, but that does not really matter as Buzzwole is Choice Scarf and does outspeed. You can go for the Drain Punch here, Speed Boost, and it can then take out this Entei. It is faster than this Entei because this Entei is Choice Banded. So yeah, I thought this game was really good. Ice was I didn't hack him as much as I did last season. He besides for a little static, but the static I think didn't have that much effect besides for against Manaphy, where it was paralyzed in turn before it was killed. So all in all, I think it was a good battle. Using my win count of Buzzwole was very good in this case, as Buzzwole did very good work against his entire team. Next week we are going to be in Sword and Shield, and I absolutely love my Sword and Shield team. I think it's the only team that I made for fun. I have Galarian, Darmanitan, Gothitelle, Weezing, Galar Weezing, Hawlucha, Barraskewda, Delmice, Scyther, Politoed, Corsola, and Galvantula, while my opponent, top tier boy, has Clefable, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Starmie, Conkeldurr, Dracovish, Roserade, and Chandelier. I think this matchup is not as in favor as this one earlier. Like, I feel like this matchup this week was very easy with Zapdos and Alola Marowak almost walling against like half his team. But I feel like this one is much more almost common ground and even. But yeah, I have to say, but I'm just really enjoying mines right now, and I was really feeling myself this game. I did some ballsy stuff, but it ended up working out in the end, so that's all that matters. A win's a win. 2-0, not that bad. We will now be 1-1 with a +1 differential. So yes, be sure to check out next week when we battle in in Sword and Shield. Bye.